The Diesel Performance Podcast contains explicit language.
Thank you for joining us again. This is Paul Wilson.
And I'm Danny Voss.
And you're listening to the Diesel Performance Podcast. Danny boy, the weather's getting nice, huh?
Man, it's go time over here at Calibrated.
Can finally get outside. Duramax Tuner Calibrated power. Guys, don't forget, you can call in, order any product. Let your sales rep know that you are a podcast listener and you want a free t-shirt. Your sales rep will get you hooked up with a free t-shirt. You just already have to be shipping something to you.
Paul will give you the free t-shirt off his back.
Literally, it's an XL. You can have it. It smells a little bit.
A lot of it.
That is really exciting. This type of weather, also, Danny, I think my favorite part, yes, we get all the trucks out of the garage finally. Everybody wants to build their shit, or it has already broken their shit. But tractors, so much fun working with the farmers out there. If you're a farmer, you got a John Deere, Case, New Holland, or even just anything else, get a hold of us. Let's talk a little bit about...
Versatile. We do a ton of versatiles.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's talk a little bit about making your tractor more efficient, making your farming operation more efficient through tuning. We can do that. That's really awesome stuff.
Actually, I almost sometimes, and I'll say sometimes, have more fun tuning tractors and combines than I do trucks.
It's a definitely different. It's a different customer, right? But yeah, but we're always happy to help. So if there's anything we can do, let us know. Upcoming episodes, Danny, I am getting really excited. Memorial Day weekend, folks, I'm going out to get married. Wah, wah. Right. Good idea, bad idea. Don't know yet. I think it sounds good. She told me it's a good idea, so there's something. Right. Already got a baby boy, so we figured why not? Let's just tie the knot. But Memorial Day weekend, we are going to do a salute to veterans in diesel.
That was Paul giving the podcast salute, if you couldn't see that.
That's it. Yeah, you may not be able to see me since this is an audio podcast. But yeah, we're going to do a salute to veterans in diesel. We got a lot of great guys together that work in the diesel performance community, whether they're shop owners or truck owners. And we just really want to try to do something to highlight that. We also got a chance to talk with the guys from the Tattered Flag Project, and we're going to be doing an interview with the guys from Wounded Veterans Foundation. Really excited for both of those. So two good groups that you can go out and talk to and do a little bit more with and help give back.
It's going to be an honor to be able to talk to those guys.
Absolutely. Before we dive into today's episode, we did have a listener question. We're going to start trying to bring these out more and more, guys. I know in the past, Danny, Rich, our producer, and I have always jumped onto the Facebook questions and just replied to your questions directly. We will still try to do that. There's a reality that we're kind of busy and sometimes we're a little bit slow on our response. To help with that, we're going to start bringing in a listener question segment. So please, any question about diesel that you have, message us on Facebook, which Danny, killing it. Up to 6,000 likes on our Facebook page. We've never promoted it. We've never pushed it. Hey, listeners, do us a favor. Jump on and like our Facebook page. While you're there, send us a message. We'll read your message. We'll read your question on the air, and we'll do the best we can to answer it.
That's all organic, too.
Yeah, all organic. Yeah. That's just us doing a mediocre job.
Homegrown, organic likes.
Danny, I don't know. I did not prepare you or warn you at all about this idea I had. I literally just walked in and started talking.
What's new? I'm used to Paul has made me be comfortable with being uncomfortable throughout the year or so we've done this podcast.
That's what she said. Okay. Brad Sellers messaged us at the Facebook page, said, I've listened to your diesel truck buyer's guide, which was great, but I've got one more scenario for you. Danny, what's the scenario?
Looks like I'm looking to spend $20,000 on a used 3/4 ton 4x4. It would be a daily driver, so reliability is a huge concern. Would only want a light tow tune on stock parts. Which truck engine would you recommend in that price range? Thanks, guys, with an exclamation point.
Now, before we get started, Danny, obviously you have extensive experience selling used diesel trucks.
Oh, yeah.
So you have a real good handle on where the market is. Now, where you work, though, generally did tend towards be the higher end of the pricing.
Yeah.
Right? So whatever you guys sold at that dealership, usually you could find something comparable a little bit cheaper. But we want to give some reference here. So Danny's advice is going to be based off going to a dealership. What would you recommend to spend $20,000 at a dealership on a truck that's going to be reliable?
That's a no-brainer for me personally. I'm going to look for a $20,000 LBZ.
I mean, do you think a $20,000 LBZ is still going to be reliable? We're starting to get into that world where, at least at the lot you were at, $20,000 LBZ's probably got 180,000 plus on it for mileage.
Yeah, and that's a really loaded question. That's a really good question you asked here, Mr. Brad Sellers. $20,000, it's tough to find a really nice, reliable truck that doesn't need a CP3, doesn't need injectors, doesn't need all this expensive work.
I mean, we've seen $20,000 7.3s that I would never pay that, but a $20,000 VP Cummins.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we've seen them. If they're in real low miles and real good condition and that matters to you, you're going to be buying something older. To buy something decent and reliable, I'm right there with you on the LBZ. I may actually say you probably can get a little bit less miles or a little bit better package option. So like your bells and whistles, your features. If you went with a Cummins, I would not do a $20,000 Ford diesel. I just wouldn't. That's just me.
Hey, you wouldn't do a Ford whether it was free. I don't think you'd do a Ford. Period.
Man, those new 6.7 liters. You know,
Yeah.
I've been eyeballing them. I've been eye fucking them. But yeah, I'm not there yet. I'm not sold on the oval.
Well, $20,000, I would actually unwind that question a little bit if the customer was right in front of me and really find out his financing options. If he's paying cash for this truck, it's a different game than if he's financing.
Fucking car sellers, man.
No, it's the truth. Think about this.
My budget's $20,000. It's none of your business how I pay for it.
Well, actually, at this time, it is. Because it's my job to get you in the seat. And
I
if
hear ya.
I can't get you finance on that truck, then I'm not going to sell you that truck.
Yeah. Okay. Me personally, I would say go out, go buy used, go on Craigslist and all of the other places that we all search for trucks on. I personally would probably be pushing more towards a 5.9 Cummins because I do think that you could get a few more options or a little bit lower of mileage. Yeah, you might be doing some front end work and some steering components, and you do have to keep an eye on the transmission. But this message here to me doesn't scream that he's looking for big power, so he's not looking for a power platform.
Right.
He's looking for something to drive every day. We've all seen Duramaxes and Cummins with hundreds and hundreds of thousand miles. We just had a guy in just yesterday, 1,000,000 miles on one, 500,000 on his next one. It's an LML. The other one was an LMM.
Hot shotter.
Hot shotter, still driving them. Wife still drives. It's got 1.2 million miles on it. Wife still drives it every day.
And he does a lot of trips to Canada and all over the map.
Yeah, absolutely. Really good guy. Really good question. Thank you so much for sending that in, Brad Sellers. We certainly appreciate your interaction with us. Again, check us out on Facebook. We are at the Diesel Performance Podcast. Also, new announcement, I believe we are launching a YouTube channel just for the podcast.
Yes, we are.
Man, another notch in the belt. We keep adding and adding to this podcast. It's been unbelievable.
Yeah, I think the thing is that our podcast, we've always put up a video version onto YouTube. Rich, our producer, has been kind enough to do that and kind of share the Duramax Tuner YouTube channel. We are clogging up the Duramax Tuner YouTube channel. There's a bunch of these hour, 30-minute, hour and 20-minute episodes, and we're going to start to try to go to a new format for that. So we want to find a unique place that you can watch just podcast info. So you get all of our podcasts in one place, be able to watch them on YouTube. That way anybody can consume them anywhere. I'm really excited about that.
Don't forget about SoundCloud. We are on SoundCloud.
SoundCloud, that is a thing which we are on. And
Yes.
that's everything I know about SoundCloud.
That is very obvious.
Finally, we're done paying all the bills. We're
My
done
God.
talking about all the stuff we have to talk about. I'm really fucking excited. Kelsie Epp, how the hell are you?
I am freaking amazing. How are you?
Doing great.
We're doing great. Recording on a Thursday, not a Friday, but it feels like Friday.
Well,
which is good.
Why don't we tell everybody why we're doing this on a Thursday and not a Friday, Paul?
Yeah, well, it's my bachelor parties tomorrow, so I will be indisposed at 5 o'clock.
Are you sure it's going to take that long?
Yeah, well, I get off at noon tomorrow, so I'm pretty sure I'll be indisposed by 2, right? But yeah, Kelsie Epp, we are so excited to have you on the show. Thank you so much for joining us. We got to run into Kelsie out at the Ultimate Callout Challenge.
Yeah, I finally got to meet you guys after how many years of trying?
I know it. And Kelsie, one of the reasons we wanted to have you on is because we think a lot of guys in social media have, at the very least, seen your name come up multiple times. Obviously, you've been at the Diesel Power Challenge before. You're all over social media. You work in diesel performance. Before we get too far into it, though, we always like to ask our guests, what got you started in diesel performance?
I really liked trucks as a young kid, and then when I was 14, my grandpa bought a Duramax, 2003 Duramax, and then when I went to college, I ended up buying it from him, but at that time it was starting to really need work. So I had to start getting it worked on while I was going to college, and ran into a diesel performance shop in the town I was going to college, and they were into racing diesels and all into Duramax performance. So it just worked out, and they got me hooked. Brian Spooner actually took me for a ride in his white GMC when it was probably a 12-second truck, which was ridiculous for that time. And I came back, and the guy said I was just glowing. I was just in love with diesel performance.
That is awesome. I can't believe Brian Spooner, who, of course, we interviewed with Jamie Stajanowski from J&R Auto. They had the truck Blower Max.
Awesome.
Which is, they're on the...
blowing smoke.
Blowing smoke.
It's blowing smoke.
Ooh, I just said Blower Max, which is a sled pull truck around our area. I apologize. You're absolutely correct. Blowing smoke.
You're blowing smoke.
That's usually. Okay. Oh my God. Was it J&R Auto? Was that the shop that you were hanging out at?
Yes, that was the one.
With Jamie.
Hey,
Jamie.
Those are your guys, man. Those guys
ended
are
up
awesome.
being just great friends.
So are you in the Lloydminster area then?
No, I'm actually 8-9 hours drive from there now. And I had to drive back and forth like every second weekend. I was driving back home 8 hours in my 03.
Oh my goodness, racking up the miles
back
on
and
that.
forth.
Okay, well, walk us through. What'd you do to the LB7?
So it's still a stock turbo. We did injectors and modded the CP3 in it, and Adrenaline Truck Performance tuned it for me, and it's been sitting at 587 horsepower for probably the last 5 or 6 years now, and I think all I've done in the last 5 or 6 years to it was change the water pump, and I drag race it like probably 100 passes a year.
Wow, that's awesome.
That's getting after it. Okay, and that's been really reliable for you then, huh?
Oh, it's incredible, yeah.
What kind of stuff do you do for maintenance? Guys are always asking us, like, how can I keep my LB7 on the road? What do you do for maintenance on that truck?
Well, first off, I don't drive it in the winter.
First off,
Which
that's
is
important.
which is like all fucking year in Canada. What do you mean you don't drive it? So you don't drive
So
it?
you don't drive it, yeah.
I just put insurance on it. So it'll be insured from May till October. And that's it. But it gets an oil change once or twice a year, depending on how many kilometers I put on it. But I mean, it's basically just drive to our local strip and race all weekend and drive home. So it's, an oil change once a year, and I run AMSOIL and everything, and I've obviously had good luck with it. So it's what I continue to use.
Hell yeah.
What class do you enter when you like to race it?
We have street class up here, and then when I go to Edmonton, it's the sportsman class.
Awesome. That's what we have over here as well.
Yeah. What are the restrictions on a class like that? What's the rules?
I think you can't be faster than 12 seconds, and can't have like open headers, and you have to have street-approved tires, dot-approved tires.
Same deal.
Yeah.
Can't be coming up there tubbed out and stuff, talking about I want to run in the street class.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Real daily drivers. Okay, what's the truck run?
12.5 to 12.8.
Nice.
So it's about 6,900 pounds. So works out.
Danny, I think she might have you, bro. I think she might have old Ron Burgundy in the bag.
Well, you got to understand that I race my truck at full weight. I don't ever put it on a diet before I take it to the drag strip. I like to know what I'm running, like I drive every single day to work.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So I run, 1270s pretty consistently, no problem. But
Fastest drag racer with the most amount of excuses. Danny Voss, folks.
no, most experienced, the best.
Ooh, I don't.
drag
She's
racer.
got 100 passes a year for the
Okay.
last 5 years, bro.
I'm talking about at Calibrated.
Okay.
Yeah, not
He narrowed
ever.
the audience.
Yeah,
He said excluding Kelsie Epp.
Yeah, excluding
He's the fastest one in the room. Right. Okay. All right.
Well, you got to understand, I spray that truck, but I've never sprayed it at the drag strip. So I always have a little trick up my sleeve if I need it.
So show your sandbagger once in a while.
Yeah.
Oh!
Yeah, absolutely.
Fucking sandbagger. I'm gonna spray paint that down the side of the truck. Okay, Kelsie, back to you. So you got quite a bit of experience with drag racing. What are some of the entry level tips you can give other people who are looking to get into the sportsman class or the street class?
I would have to say just make sure you talk to someone that knows what they're doing. Have someone take you up to the lights and show you how they work and everything, because I had a huge blunder the first time I went up to the lights and freaked out.
What
so
happened?
I would just make sure that you're prepared and know exactly how the lights work. Oh, I put my truck in reverse and left it in reverse.
No.
Hey, that's common.
Seriously,
That is seriously common.
it was terrorizing.
Oh.
I was teaching my sister how to drag race for WS6, and we were in the burnout box. She did a burnout in reverse, because she backed up to the water.
Yeah.
Did a burnout in reverse, and I was like, whoa, 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 whoa. You know, like that could have been a bad deal. People get nervous when they get up there for the first time.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, God knows the first time I dragged race, I had some problems at the lights as well. I did not know my transfer case was upside down, so I was trying to force it into four-wheel drive high, and it was actually four-wheel drive low. The Humvee did not like that. It did not like a full pass in four low. But okay, but Kelsie, you got it in reverse. Apparently you didn't crash into the guy behind you, though, right? You didn't hit the guy in the
I
burnout
only
box?
went like a foot. I realized it right away, but I mean, the damage was done. Everyone was laughing.
Well, that's a great story, at least to tell.
That's good. At least you can laugh at it now, too, right?
Yeah, and I'm really passionate about getting new drag racers out there. Last year at our local track, we started doing street nights on Friday nights, finally, and I really love helping people learn how to drag race. It's a fantastic feeling helping them.
You know, drag racers in the pits, like talking about how to drag race, nicest group of people you can imagine. Going over and inspecting their vehicles under the hood, apparently a big no-no at the track. Whereas at sled pulling, nobody really gives a fuck, which is weird because I find more people cheating in sled pulling than drag racing. Danny, do you see the same thing? You go to both?
If you ain't cheating, you ain't eating. And I ain't hungry.
Okay, how about you, Kelsie? You go around, you start poking around under the hood of somebody else's truck at the drag strip. Do they get offended, or are they okay with it?
There's not too many trucks there, but I mean, I think lots of people are happy to talk about their vehicle and show it off.
Yeah.
That's what I find.
Okay.
Everyone loves talking about their own truck, right?
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's
They can
true.
go on and on about that.
That's true. Well, you might be a little nicer when you first talk to him than I am, too. So maybe that's my problem.
Might
maybe it's
be,
all me.
or
Maybe it's all my abrasiveness.
Maybe.
All right. Kelsie, now obviously the LB7 is not what you had in the Diesel Power Challenge. What year was that? Was it last year?
It was last year, yes.
It was last
So
year.
that is an 02 LB7 GMC. My black one is a Chevy.
Okay.
So the 02 GMC I bought with a built motor in it and with the triples on it. And it blew up as soon as I got home.
No.
Literally.
Oh, no.
What
So-
blew up on it?
It's the last guy that worked on it forgot to tighten the harmonic balancer,
Oh.
and it busted the crank.
Oh, we've seen it. We've seen it a
So-
couple times.
I had to learn right from scratch to rebuild that whole thing. Then, after the Diesel Power Challenge, I had to learn to build the engine.
And I'd love to dive
So
into that.
anyway, we put in a new engine and new trans. Dimitri Millard, No Zone Diesel, built the trans. And we got all the turbos rebuilt. Pretty much everything from the ground up we had to redo. It was a mess, like all the wiring and everything. So I really had to learn a lot in a very short period of time to get ready to go to Diesel Power Challenge.
Oh, my goodness. Okay. Well, walk me through how you first got it. So you got it with triple turbos. What size turbos?
So it still has the same size turbos. 266 is feeding into a 72.
Okay.
And I have 269s sitting here waiting to replace the 66s.
Are you going to wait for them to blow up, or are you just going to wait to get greedy and want more power?
I'm going to wait to get greedy.
Is it an SXE charger?
Yeah, the SXEs, the new ones are SXEs,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah, that's all anybody's running now, man. Borg Warner killing it.
Man, it is killing it.
You know what's funny is I've asked like 3 guys, like, hey, what's different about the SXE turbos than the old ones? They're like, they
rip.
fucking rip. They fucking rip, bro. That's it. That's all you need to know. And they do. I mean, we've seen them do nothing but kill it. All right.
Yeah, I will agree with that.
Yeah. All right. So you got 2 69 SXEs waiting to go in to replace the 66s, feeding into a 72 in the Valley. What about fuel? Let's talk injectors.
Dynamite diesel supermental injectors. So I'm going to guess they're around 250%.
Okay. Yeah, they don't measure in percent, right? Because they're horsepower, and then once they get into that big, it's just their series, right?
Yeah, exactly. Supermentals is just what they're called. But
Dang, Paul, you actually did some homework for once.
We interviewed Lenny Reed.
But that doesn't mean you were...
And I didn't get his name wrong this time, because
Hey,
I've said it wrong like 3 times.
Impressive. But,
Right.
you know, for you to retain some knowledge there, I am impressed.
So it's names and injector sizes are the 2 things that I will never remember. Like, unless you tell me in percent, it's so... I actually have crib notes. I have little notes here that are written down to convert percent to horsepower. But yeah, that it happens. Okay, I'm sorry, Kelsie. We're rambling again. You can tell. You can tell that we are ready for this. So, 250% ish injectors, supermentals from DDP. 266s, 72, and then what do we got for a pump?
the CP3s are an ATS kit with a BD 12 mil pump and a stock pump on top.
Okay.
So that could be an upgrade too that I could do this year. We'll see.
Yeah. I mean, is it
the one stock pump to a bigger pump? Yeah.
Are you out of CP3? I mean, I would imagine a 12 and a stock would be fine. To be honest with you. I mean,
for now.
Yeah. Once we go bigger, we might need more fuel to back it up, huh?
Yeah. So when I went to Diesel Power Challenge, I had just cast pistons in that engine. And once we blew that one up because we got contaminated fuel, then we went with forged. So, and a billet crank. Like, we went full out. Like, this is a UCC Duramax engine.
Yeah.
What did it make on the dyno at Diesel Power Challenge?
At Diesel Power Challenge, it was corrected. It was like 1170.
Okay.
And we made 13, and that's on fuel.
Oh,
so
wow.
we made 13 something on the ATS dyno outside when they in March last year.
Okay.
Yeah.
She's fucking getting it. So what's it run for quarter miles?
She's got a trick
now
up
that
her
it's
sleeve,
together
too.
and rebuilt with forged pistons and billet crank and all of that.
Okay, so last year was a major learning curve. We blew it up on the first strip at Diesel Power Challenge against Charlie Keeter. I hit the nitrous bottle, and it just decided that was the end of it. That injector kept sticking open, and it finally just split the piston.
She gone.
So I ran like 11.1 with only half track power.
Ooh.
Oh.
And then...
Wait, only 11.1? What does that mean? That's pretty fast.
So then after that, we went to the new engine finally. But when we did the new engine, we had checked out the tranny and everything, and the torque converter had ballooned a little bit. So we didn't want to use that torque converter, so we tried a different one from Gore End instead of Suncoast, what I had. That was working fantastic, the Suncoast, but it had ballooned a little bit, so we didn't want to put it back in with the new engine. So we tried a Gore End, and it absolutely did not work. It would not spool at all. It was terrifying. Like, I can't believe how much torque converters make a difference. Totally different truck.
It is a big game changer.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So then we ended up going to an ATS converter. That didn't quite work out as good either. I launched it so hard at the track the last time that I took it to the track in October last year. And it blew the front U-joint, and I had drive shaft loops and everything, but it ripped off my engine oil filter.
Oh, my God.
Down the track. So, of course, I turned the truck off right away. I didn't really know what was going on, but I turned the truck off right away. That was my last pass down the track. So I have not officially made a full power pass down the track.
Oh, no.
So you had a hoop on the small 4x4 drive shaft?
Yeah.
Wow. Those are
And
expensive.
it busted and bent everything under there.
Oh. Kelsie,
Yeah.
you do not have the Irish luck in your truck, I see.
I had a terrible year last year, but I really hope that we've got most things ironed out for this year.
Now, Diesel Power Challenge last year, I seem to remember a video of your truck hanging an injector. Isn't the sled pull the last event?
Yeah, I had already split the piston at that point,
Had already split
but
the
we
piston.
decided to run it anyway.
Fuck it, send it.
Send it. She sent it. And you unplugged the injector, if I remember right, didn't you?
Yeah, we did.
Well,
Yeah, and it would not spool because there was all kinds of, I don't know, something that blew off on the oil return lines or something. So it was spewing oil everywhere. And it wasn't going to move the sled. I touched the nitrous button, and it started moving.
Oh, my
And
God.
it started to cook on nitrous. Like, it was going. And then the T-case broke.
Oh. You couldn't even just keep all the damage just to the engine, huh? You just had to go through and ruin
No.
everything.
Yeah, it was pretty incredible. But I felt good feeling that I actually finished the event. And we still got 4th place, which isn't
Awesome. terrible
terrible considering I blew up halfway through. So
that is awesome.
4th place on 7 cylinders.
What an experience that was, Tyler.
Okay, well, let's talk about it. So what else went right? What did you do really well with at the Diesel Power Challenge?
well, the dyno was all right, but that's when the injector started to hang open. Like, when we pulled off the dyno, you could really hear it. The trailer challenge wasn't bad. That was pretty good. And the fuel, the fuel economy, that was what they changed this year. So
Yeah.
no one knew what to expect. So I had Idaho Rob put all these weird tunes in my truck to try to get really good fuel economy and no smoke. Well, it turns out this fuel economy thing is more like a video game on the dyno where you have to keep your speed in between the lines.
Right.
So, and then they measure fuel economy after 20 minutes of that. So, and then they dock you points if you go out of the line. So it wasn't really an emissions thing. It was just, that's the kind of thing that they used to test it, I guess. But yeah, so that's just how they measured their fuel. So it did really well in that. I think it got tied for 3rd,
Oh, wow.
but that was interesting.
That is a hard
it
test.
got-
KJ was
Yeah.
telling us about how hard that test really is to perform, and if you've never practiced, it's something that's hard to practice.
There is
for.
no way to
Yeah,
practice.
there is.
There's no way to practice that. Yeah. Yeah, he was telling us about it. I thought it was probably the coolest change they made to the Diesel Power Challenge, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's definitely really neat. We didn't know what to expect, but it still did all right. So
Sure. Okay. You work in diesel performance as well, right, Kelsie?
actually, I don't officially. I am a gas plant operator,
Okay.
and that is how I pay for my diesel performance addiction. So Supreme Diesel is like my family. I practically live there because I'm not a mechanic by trade, obviously. I have to learn everything, so I spend a lot of time there, and I help them out as much as I can. And they actually offered to let me buy into their new web store, which I'm going to do, so we're going to be business partners.
Awesome.
congratulations.
And where is Supreme Diesel located?
Supreme Diesel is in Sexsmith, Alberta, Canada. It is very far north, and it's just a little bit out of Grand Prairie, Alberta, which would be the biggest city around.
Way up north.
Way up north.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, awesome. So you are the creepy chick that hung out in the shop so much they had to offer you a job is really what you're telling us.
Yeah, pretty much.
The stalker who would not go
Everyone there
home.
has just been fantastic people and have helped me out so much. I'm blessed to have that great of people around me.
I hear you. Well, that's awesome. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you're literally there so much and posting so much. We thought you worked there.
I
She
know a lot of
now
people
somewhat
do.
owns it.
Right. Now going into partnership. That's awesome. Well, we're excited for that. Kelsie, what do you think are some words of advice you'd give to somebody who's new to diesel performance? What would you have wished somebody told you when you first started?
Run a long ways away. You know what? I'm really, really passionate about this. So, you have to give up a lot of things if you want to go a long ways in diesel, because it's so much more expensive than, say, building a gas car. I mean, if you're building a full-out race car, that could be more expensive, but just a general race car is a lot cheaper to build than a diesel truck, obviously. So you have to be very passionate, and you have to just love diesel. And that's what I feel the biggest thing is, because there's going to be lots of things you're going to have to sacrifice if you want to build a high-performance diesel.
What are you willing to give up to be a badass in diesel? That's a good question.
It's a give and take.
I love it. Okay. What question should we have asked you today that we didn't?
I wanna ask a question.
Oh, yeah. Answer Danny's first. Go.
What is your truck cut as far as a 60-foot time, typically?
The green one or the black one?
Both.
I can't remember what the green one is, but the black one, 168 is like the best, probably.
Nice.
Better than you, Danny.
Oh yeah, that's nasty.
on proxies, so
Right.
yeah, it's not bad.
Awesome.
That's moving, boy.
Okay. Any others, Danny?
Yeah.
So 100 passes a year. That is unreal.
She's just hot lapping it, bro. It's 30 passes a day, right? And then she gets to skip one weekend a month, and then that's it. Boom.
I mean, that blows me away right there. That anybody's at the drag strip that much. That is a lot of passes. I imagine that your front end's all nice and built. You're ready for round robins. You can take that thing round for round. When are you going to bring
definitely.
that thing to the Illinois area so we can beat up on it a little bit?
When are you going to come race Danny? He's calling you out on the podcast. Danny Voss, Kelsie Epp, the drag race of the century.
I would love to,
That
but
would be
it's going
fun.
to cost a lot to get there.
I can meet you halfway.
Halfway.
Oh,
Halfway's
okay.
like Alberta, bro. Like still, I know that's a province, but like you still got to get into Alberta to be halfway.
They won't let me out of the country, Paul.
Oh yeah, that's
Well, actually,
right.
it's
Yeah,
getting
that
back
court
in.
thing,
It's
right,
that
right,
getting
yeah,
back
yeah,
in
I forget
thing.
about that.
I'm just kidding.
Danny's a dangerous felon.
Yes, not.
Awesome. Okay, well then back to my original ending question here, Kelsie. What should we have asked you today that we didn't? What would you like to just tell our listeners?
You didn't ask about my Canyon.
Oh my God, I didn't ask about the
She's
canyon.
don't be hating when she's 2-8ing.
Fucking Danny.
So this is why I listen to you guys all the time, because I practically have to live in this canyon, because I have an hour and a half drive every day
Ooh,
back and forth to work.
better you than me.
So I get to listen to you guys a lot.
Tell me about your 2.8 experience.
It's a huge difference from what I was used to. I actually sold my LOY, my 05 that I put 350,000 miles on. I had to do a conversion there.
Oh my goodness.
I sold that to actually the owner of Supreme Diesel's son, and he's still running it, and just maintenance, that's it.
Quit
That
playing.
engine is still
You're
happening.
lying.
And it had 500 horse every day.
No, it didn't. You're
drove it
telling
back.
stories.
We're talking about the 2.8 now. I want to talk about the
It's
2.8.
Canadian miles she's talking. I'm
Shit.
talking about
Okay,
an LLY
so
being
anyway.
like this. Come on now.
I got to straighten Paul out
So I
all the
ordered
time,
the
Kels.
2.8.
Yeah. Back on the
It took me
2.8.
6 months to get it.
Oh.
6 months to get it up here because they weren't releasing any to Canada. So anyway, then I finally got it, and I put, I don't know, a couple hundred miles on it and took it straight to Integra Tire in Grand Prairie and did $20,000 worth of upgrades to it.
Oh.
It looks awesome.
Now
Which
hold on.
is
That was
the old,
20,000
like,
Canadian, which is like
$18,000.
$8 US. But yeah.
Whoa.
Right.
You're going to get some serious hate mail. I hope they all hate mail you.
The Canadians know it's
Yeah.
not me. They're not hating on me. The exchange rate's terrible. That's not my fault.
We have 6,000 likes on our Facebook. We're going to have 6,000 dislikes from our Canadians.
That'd be hilarious.
No, it wouldn't.
I'm sorry, Kelsie. I'm sorry. You spent $20,000 on that is actually even in U.S. dollars, it's still a lot of money. What kind of shit did you buy? What did you put on it?
All kinds of things. Light bar. I did the headlights and taillights are all painted. Everything's color matched on it. I did a lift. Did tires. I did fuel forged rims. And yeah, it's a beautiful little truck now.
It is. It looks awesome, by the way.
Yeah, you're gonna have to send us in some pictures. Danny, did you already get a picture of her 2.8 for the Facebook post?
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, awesome. Okay,
Yeah.
okay. So we did all the bells and whistles. You went there and you were like, "Here's a blank check. Sell me everything you can put on this truck." I love
Pretty
that.
much exactly that's what it is. You know, I drove it stock for the couple hundred miles, and I cannot stand not having a vehicle that everyone stares at.
I know the
It
feeling.
has to turn heads. That's just the way it is for me, I guess.
I love it. I love it. Okay, and then I think you're running Duramax Tuner Spade on it too, aren't you?
Yeah, I have my own auto cals and everything, so I
Gotcha.
don't have a spade, but I have the 5 teens. Yeah.
How do you like them? How did it change the truck?
It definitely helped because when I put the big tires on, it was really laggy. So it's pretty much back to stock now that you guys tuned it, like because of the big tires, right? Because because they're so low power, it takes a lot of power out of it to turn those tires, and I lose like 4 miles per gallon with the big tires on it.
You could have run
So-
a stock LML on stock tires and had probably the same fuel mileage then, huh?
I'm pretty sure my black LB7 got better fuel mileage. But yeah. Anyway, it's still great. Compared to my LLY, it's just about double the fuel mileage. So
Well, that's awesome. What are the plans in the future? How crazy are we going with the 2.8? We're doing twins, we're doing nitrous, we're doing built 6L90s. What's up?
I'm gonna leave it for a bit. We'll see how long that lasts. Until I would really like to take my green truck to UCC. So that's kind of what I'm going to focus on, having a UCC built truck. I was really inspired by Mike Graves' truck. It's very similar to mine.
Wow.
And after UCC, I was just like, oh, we got to do this or something like it. So
You can do it.
I love it.
that's definitely what I'm inspired to do now and work towards.
That is a huge, huge deal. Did you just announce that you want to be in the UCC?
Ooh.
Is that official or is
That's
that
officially
unofficial?
announced on the
I-
Diesel
Is it
Performance Podcast.
Unofficially or officially? Because I don't want to put you on the spot or nothing. That
I
could never go bad.
officially said I want to go.
10,000 people just heard Kelsie Epp say she's going to the UCC next year.
Oh, yeah.
I love it. 2018, the year of Canadians winning competitions.
That could happen. They're bringing the heat.
I love it. I love it. Well, Kelsie, thank you so much for taking some time out of your busy day. We know how crazy busy you are. We really appreciate you coming on the show and joining us to talk a little bit about your experience in diesel performance.
Great, thank you. So honored that you guys asked me.
Not a problem. How can people follow you if they want to find out more about what you're doing in diesel?
Supreme Diesel Facebook page, and then I'm helping to run SupremeDieselPerformance.com is our web store, and you can always follow me on Facebook. I believe the follow button is usable on my personal page, Kelsie Epp.
Well, that's awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining us. This has been Paul Wilson.
And I'm Danny Voss.
Thanks for listening.
Calibrated Power Solutions, the leading North American developer of clean diesel power and home of DuramaxTuner.com, is the proud sponsor of the Diesel Performance Podcast. Calibrated Power develops emissions and quick tunes for a wide variety of diesel powertrains, including the Duramax, Cummins, Jeep, John Deere, and many more. For more information and the best customer service in the industry, check out calibratedpower.com or call 815-568-7920. That's 815-568-7920. To reach out to the Diesel Performance Podcast, send us a message through Facebook or email Paul at DuramaxTuner.com or Danny at DuramaxTuner.com.